I spent $18,000 on this camper van as a landscape photographer.
It's something I've been wanting for years, and I finally got one. And as a landscape photographer, this is a complete game changer with how I'll experience the world.
So come in and see what's inside my new home. Welcome into my crib. Van. Welcome into my van. And I'm super excited to show you guys around and how it was built out to support me and my landscape photography. I bought the van a month ago from this guy and his brother who do van conversions out of their backyard. We went back and forth a lot over the past couple of months and finally came to an agreement where I would give them my car plus cash to acquire this van. And now we're here. I have my own little home on wheels, so let's take a look around. The van itself is quite an old vehicle. It's a 2000 Ford E150 Ecoline with a V8 engine and 125,000 miles. It's in great shape with almost no rusting, and the body overall is in great structural condition. My only gripe so far, considering that it's an older van, is the AC doesn't blow from the vents, but instead blows from the front, and the handle to get into the van doesn't work. But that's okay, because I can just open the side door and push it open from there. Other than those couple of quirks, this van is as good as it's gonna get for a 25-year-old vehicle. But let's move into the camper part of the van and start from the back, then move towards the front. Inside, we have a full-size mattress that was customized to fit inside of this van. It was cut in a way to fit perfectly at the back of it, with plenty of room for the rest of the interior. Surprisingly, this mattress can actually fit 2 people if you lay down widthwise in the van. Granted, there isn't a ton of space laterally, as I'm 5'7" and can lay out, but without much room for my head and toes. But if you were by yourself, you can lay on the bed diagonally, which gets you so much more space and is definitely a more comfortable experience. It's how I'll be sleeping on the bed whenever I'm by myself. But if you wanted to actually sit up on this bed, you're gonna find that it's gonna be hard to do so because this bed is raised up on this platform here, making it pretty much impossible to sit up and be comfortable as my head hits the roof and I have to crouch down a bit. Most of the time, if you're on the bed, you'll be laying down on it. But to be fair, that is what beds are made for. But speaking of the raised mattress, if you take a look under it, you're gonna find that there's plenty of storage to fit whatever you want underneath the bed. I've been able to fit a duffel bag, camera bag, camping toilet, a 47-quart fridge, boxes to carry things with more than enough room to fit other things in there, and it's all protected with this button-up curtain that helps to keep everything secure and ensure that nothing flies out while driving, because I totally haven't done that yet. With only one person here, the storage compartment has a pretty solid amount of space, but honestly, it can get pretty tight fast if there were only 2 people living in it. So I'll just have to make sure I'm minimal when it comes to packing, especially if I'm going out with another person, so we have enough space to fit all of our stuff inside. One item that I do want to talk about inside of the storage compartment is my fridge. It's a 47-quart fridge from Julian that has both a freezer and a fridge part of it, which is perfect to hold food to cook. I keep it very close to the opening of the storage compartment so I can make sure that it's accessible at all times and keep it hooked up to my battery system that I have down here. And if we open up this bottom cabinet here, we're gonna see that we have 2 big batteries, both by EcoFlow. One of them being the EcoFlow River 2 Max, which is a 500-watt battery, while the other is the EcoFlow River 2 Pro, and this one is 800 watts. Having both of these batteries is insane because it essentially allows me to power all of my appliances and keep everything charged. Originally, the van came with the 500-watt River 2 Max, but for me, I think 2 is necessary, considering that I have to keep all my camera gear charged along with my laptop and phone. And the cool thing here is that I can hot swap them out. Let's say I'm running my sink and fridge off of one battery, then it dies on me. I can simply plug everything into the other battery while I charge the dead battery. This allows me to keep my electronics powered without skipping a beat, especially since I'm relying so heavily on them to keep my photography gear powered as well. The worst thing that can happen to me is if I didn't have enough power to keep all my batteries and camera gear charged, which is kind of the entire purpose of doing van life, to go out and experience the world with my camera gear. But you might look at the batteries and think, well, how are you going to keep them powered if you're not by an outlet? And for this, there's 2 solutions. The first is I can simply plug the battery into my DC outlet in the van while I'm driving it to charge it. Of course, this only works if the van is on. But if I'm idle and just hanging out, I have a 200-watt solar panel by Renogy that I can use to charge the batteries. This is perfect when I'm in remote areas and don't have outlets readily available to me. It allows me to not feel rushed to get back into the city if I'm out exploring a national park or in nature somewhere. It's what I need to stay out longer and is a self-sustainable system no matter what situation I'm in. I haven't personally tried the solar panel out yet, but from my understanding, it can charge the 500-watt battery from 0 to 100 in about 5 hours. Which does sound like a long time, but it's fine if I'm working on a video in my van or I'll be at a location for a while. But I'm fairly confident that it'll work out nicely considering how much power I have available and being able to hot swap the batteries. But if we take a look at the rest of the cabinet here, we can see that we have 2 levels with more enough storage to store a bunch of stuff in here. One slimmer one and one larger compartment with plenty of room for larger items. I still haven't decided what I'll put in there yet, but it's available whenever I need it. And if we open up the topmost drawer, I have some miscellaneous stuff like cables for charging the batteries, a remote control for the lights inside of the van, and a stove for cooking. This is a propane stove, and I still need to figure out what the best way to use it is. Because I don't know if it makes sense to use it on the countertop since the roof is fabric, but we'll just have to use it and see. One touch that the guys did a great job on was installing these little locks here to ensure the cabinets and drawers don't fly out while I'm driving. And I just have to double check that they're locked every time because I've driven off before without locking them and have the cabinets fly open. So I just gotta remember that. One other thing before I move to the other side that I wanna point out is this nightstand that's built right next to my bed. It's a pretty small surface, but would be nice when parked to leave my phone. And underneath this nightstand, we do have some extra space here, which would be nice to throw some miscellaneous stuff in there. But I will have to install a net here to ensure that nothing flies out. And below that area is another cabinet where I keep my cutlery and some plates. I've got lots of chopsticks in here because I use chopsticks for everything in addition to some plastic bags in case I need a small trash can. But next to it is this fan that I got from Costco that's perfect for moving air throughout the van. One thing I do need to keep in mind though is the van does get congested and hot if all the doors and windows are closed. The circulation part of this van is something that I need to work out, but I just gotta figure out a system that gets me privacy and keeps me cool at the same time because I ain't trying to suffocate in here. But for the most part, this fan works just fine and can be powered by my batteries for a long time. Now let me just move over to the other side really quick so we can talk about the countertop that's right next to the sink. This countertop is pretty wide and is a perfect size to work from. I've been able to fit a battery, laptop, and fan on it with enough room for other things if I ever needed it. I love having the extra room and I can fit a ton of stuff on here if I really wanted to. It doesn't feel cramped at all and I have found it to be very comfortable. And right next to this countertop is an electric powered sink. I'll plug it into the battery at the bottom using the DC outlet, and if there's a switch right next to it to turn it on and off. The faucet is kind of loud when turned on. It kind of sounds like an electric generator is being killed. And I don't know if this is part of the design, but the faucet itself seems to be a bit loose, so it'll turn and rotate. But nonetheless, it works great. And if we move to the bottom, we have 2 7-gallon tanks with the fresh water on the right and the gray water tank on the left. It's perfect for washing dishes or my hands. It's not meant to be drinking out of, but instead what you would normally use a household sink for. I still need to figure out where I can get potable water from or how I'm going to dump out the gray water tank. I've never had to know this information before, but it'll be important, especially when I'm on the road and need water to make sure I'm alive for long periods of time. And last but not least is the vinyl flooring that's on the van. It's so comfortable and feels like a normal home floor. My goal is to keep it as clean as possible. So my only rule to come into the van is that you gotta take your shoes off. Because as an Asian American, having your shoes inside of the house is a big no-no, and this van is no different. That's pretty much everything that's inside of my van. There are a few things that I still want to get, like a bug net for the back of the van so I can open the rear doors without worrying about a mosquito sucking my blood, or some coverings for the windows when I'm sleeping for ultimate privacy, and even some small things to help with my quality of life, like a solar powered shower and a small table so I can shoot B-roll my camera gear while out on the road. But for the most part, this van is ready to go on the road, and I can't wait to start traveling with it. I'll be making these small improvements as time goes on and as my needs change or arise. But for now, this is absolutely perfect. I personally love this van a lot. I mean, everything in here is built so well and they did such a great job with the design. But if you were interested in one yourself, feel free to email me here as I can get you in touch with George and his brother. They make these conversions by hand and they're not paying me to shout them out, but I just really like what they've done. Personally, this is something that I've been waiting a long time for, and as a landscape photographer, I think that this is perfect for someone that wants to experience the world as a van lifer. So let me know what you think about this van and if there's any improvements that you think that I should make to it. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Anyways guys, thank you so much for experiencing the world with me today, and if you like this video, feel free to check this one out right here. So you're gonna click it, or you should click it.